10 Italian concept cars that tested design limits. The following are some highly attractive and creative Italian cars that never made it to the market. Concept cars are vehicles designed by automakers to demonstrate their ultimate potential. Sure, some YouTubers go really insane and build things like a jet-powered go-kart, but car makers like Lamborghini want to expand their creative wings on occasion and build an actual piece of engineering brilliance. These automobiles are cool, even if they don't always make it to production or follow the rules of the road. Over the years, an infinite number of concept cars have appeared at big automotive events, such as the Geneva and Paris Motor Shows, and we've been equally impressed and dissatisfied by each one. In any case, viewing concept cars year after year certainly gets your mind going. We at Hot Cars occasionally succumb to our imaginations and imagine some wild automobile innovations, such as an electric Mazda MX-5 Miata, but even the small EV Miata appears boring in comparison to some of these jaw-droppingly beautiful Italian concept cars. Along with data from online sources, including Motorcar, RM Sotheby's, and Car.info, here are several Italian concept automobiles that push the frontiers of design. 1971 Maserati Boomerang. Front quarter view of a Maserati Boomerang via Bonhams. The Maserati Boomerang, designed by Giorgetto Giugiaro, owner of Ital Design, took the wedge-shaped frenzy from the 1970s to a whole new level. Objectively, the Maserati Boomerang was an odd-looking supercar, but we can't help but stare and enjoy the uniqueness Giugiaro imbued the Boomerang with. And that's not even mentioning this concept car you've never heard of. The Boomerang, based on the Maserati Bora, and powered by a mid-mounted 4.7-litre V8 with 310 HP and a stated top speed of 186 mph, was as quick as its design would have you believe. Normally, concept cars never leave the drawing board, but one Maserati Boomerang exists and sold for $3.7 million at Bonhams in 2015. 1954 Fiat Turbina price, unknown. Colors 1954 Turbina Fiat Conceptsylvan 500 can be found on YouTube. Remember what we mentioned in the introduction about rocket-powered go-karts? Fiat bravely created a rocket-powered sports automobile in the early 1950s during the space race. Although Fiat was not the only brand to experiment with rocket-powered cars like the Chrysler Turbine exist, Fiat was one of the few brave enough to do so. The Fiat Turbina concept car had a two-stage gas turbine engine with 3 combustion chambers that produced 300 horsepower and 22,000 RPM. The Turbina's huge amount of power, combined with a sleek aerodynamic form, allowed it to reach a top speed of 152.5 mph. Unfortunately, it, like the other automobiles on this list, was never mass-produced. Models: Alfa Romeo Berlina Aerodynamica Tecnica, BAT 1953 to 1955. The total cost of all three is $14,840,000. If you ever have the opportunity to buy one of the Alfa Romeo BAT models, know that you have some antique European cars on your hands that are truly collector's gems. Alfa Romeo never planned for any of the 3 Berlina Aerodynamica Tecnia B, a T-types to be mass-produced. Alfa Romeo had built the B, a T5, 7, and 9D in 1953, 1954, and 1955 in collaboration with Carrozzeria Bertone to demonstrate the actual value of design. They're both low-slung, aerodynamic works of art on wheels, and they're inseparable. As a result, when given the opportunity, one lucky buyer purchased all 3 for $14.84 million in 2020 at RM Sotheby's Contemporary Art Evening Auction. Price of the 2006 Lamborghini Miura concept is unknown. We wish Lamborghini would bring back one of their most recognizable supercars with the new Lamborghini Countach, like they did with the Miura. The 1966 Lamborghini Miura, often described too as the first supercar, stunned the world with its 430 HP V12 engine and 174 mph top speed at the time. Lamborghini debuted a concept car in 2006 that resembled the original Miura. The buzz around Lamborghini was at an all-time high, yet this supercar design was also never produced. That begs the question of what other current supercar reimaginings, such as a modern C4 Chevrolet Corvette ZR1 concept, would look like. The 1970 Ferrari 512S Modulo concept cost $2.3 million. The Ferrari 512S Modulo, designed by Pininfarina, has to be one of the ugliest yet coolest designs Ferrari has ever created. Ferrari, like other car makers at the time, drew inspiration from the ongoing space race, and their response was the Modulo. A white wedge-shaped car with unusually big windows, covered wheel arches, and a red stripe running along the side. The Modulo was such an outlandish concept that it had no doors. Instead, the entire top sprang open like a spaceship. But more importantly, the Modulo concept car, based on a Ferrari 512 SE, featured a 5.0-liter V12 engine, capable of propelling the UFO over 200 mph. Lamborghini Estoque 2008 price, $230,000. Lamborghini was caught between a rock and a hard place in the late 2000s. They needed a family-friendly Lambo and had to select between a sedan and an SUV. As you may know, the Urus won, and Lamborghini decided to develop the Urus SUV, although their second choice was far superior. The Lamborghini Estoque, which was estimated to cost $230,000, was a 5.2-liter V10-powered family car that resembled the Lamborghini Huracan. Instead, we got the Urus with a V8 engine. We can see why Lamborghini chose the Urus for sales purposes. After all, at the time of writing, the Urus accounted for over half of Lamborghini's total sales. However, we can't help but picture how fantastic a V10-powered luxury vehicle would be. Effectively, an Italian BMW A60 M5. 1989, Ferrari Mythos, unknown price. People now criticize Ferrari for succumbing to the SUV fad and becoming even more money-hungry as a result of their SUV, the Ferrari Purosangue, with its outrageous destination charges. However, Ferrari also created out-of-the-box supercar concepts in the past, such as the Ferrari Mythos. The Ferrari Mythos, based on the Testarossa, was a mid-engined rear-wheel drive topless sports car that appeared like it came from a video game. The Mythos was designed by Pininfarina with the intention of reaching mass production, but this never happened. The Sultan of Brunei, on the other hand, is reported to have 2 Ferrari Mythos models in his hidden collection of automobiles you'll never see in person. 1967, Lamborghini Marzal. The Lamborghini Marzal, designed by Bertone, was a concept car meant solely for marketing purposes. Lamborghini never intended to sell the Marzal to the general public, but rather to demonstrate that they could manufacture exciting 4-seater touring cars as well. This venture cost Lamborghini around $300,000, but it was a tiny price to pay, considering the amount of noise it generated in the automotive industry. A year later, the Lamborghini Jalpa, basically the road-legal counterpart of the Marzal, became available to consumers. You know, the more we look at the Lamborghini Marzal, the more it resembles an underfed DeLorean DMC-12. 1980, Lamborghini Athon. The Lamborghini Athon concept car, created by Bertone as well, was essentially a preview of what a roadster version of the Lamborghini silhouette would look like. Despite the fact that nothing resulted from the Athon's existence, many believe it inspired the design choices of props used in films such as Tron, RoboCop, and Total Recall. The Athon, like many previous Lambo concept cars, had an engine and could legally travel on public roads. The Lamborghini Athon concept car was powered by a 3.0-liter V8 paired to a 5-speed manual transmission, producing 260 horsepower and 237 lb-ft of torque. Surprisingly, the Lamborghini Athlon concept car, although being one of the most costly Lamborghini models ever offered, sold for only $487,000 at RM Sotheby's in 2011. Lamborghini Terzo Millennio, 2017. The Lamborghini Terzo Millennio made everyone look twice when it was unveiled in 2017 at the MTech conference in Massachusetts. Many assumed this was a startup company's take on an electric hypercar, but the Terzo Millennio was Lamborghini's way of stating that, despite the impending EV revolution, they will not make boring automobiles. The Lamborghini Terzo Millennio, which was developed in partnership with the Massachusetts Institute of Technology, MIT, included 4 electric motors in total, 1 for each wheel. Although Lamborghini hasn't officially stated how much power the Terzo Millennio has, we can confidently guess it's more than 1500 HP with even more torque. It's also been said that if the Terzo Millennio goes into production, it'll cost around $2.5 million. Although the Terzo Millennio is not yet in production, Its design language may be seen in the 2024 Lamborghini Revuelto. Thanks for watching. Please don't forget to like and subscribe.